Good evening, one and all. Welcome, welcome. It's Saturday Night Live. Yes. Sorry about the delay. Good evening, one and all. For those of you who are watching live, please do say hello on the live chat there. There's already so many of you people there. Just a quick shout out to Rito, Run Free and Strong. Welcome. Colin up in Yorkshire. Welcome. Paul, hello. And Rachel, Ditch Runner, hello to you all. Welcome. Sorry I'm a bit late, but I've been getting my tea ready, and I got some cake as well. Whoa, have you got your tea and cake ready? I'll tell you what the tea and cake is, but quickly before I say that, keep us updated. Rito, you got one eye on the world record. We'll talk more about what's going on. I've got a whole host of schedules on here, but before I go into all the live lovely sexy stuff, and Tom, evening, so good to see you. I think there's more people up in Yorkshire watching this than the rest of the world, but yeah. Oh, I just realized I haven't switched this on, have I? Hey, oh, does it? It's a bit glary, isn't it? So I'll leave that off. Anyway, so for those of you watching on replay, before I get into the live stuff, for those who are watching live, those who are watching on replay, it'd be fantastic if you do give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all that kind of jazz, because it really does help this channel, and maybe it'll reach out to more people who can see and enjoy the things that we do. And obviously we had such a fantastic time last Saturday. I thought we've got to do it again this Saturday, and I've got a little bit more organized this, so I've got a bit of a schedule here, Saturday Night Live. And I did have a recording somewhere because I was asking what kind of Saturday song could we have, and I'm trying to find where I put it now. And oh yes, here it is. Hopefully you can all recognize this. Let's see if you recognize this. Who suggested this song? Do you recognize that tune? Come on, leave it in the comments there. I think one person will know because he did recommend it. Let me play it again if you can hear that. Hey, anyway, I'm pressing it too many times. We'll get things going, but yes, I've got so much to cover. There's food, I'll talk about the gels, shoes, 80-20 training. But yeah, in terms of the rough idea of the schedule, it's about an hour-ish. Obviously, it depends. Yes, you did recommend that, Colin. Hello, David Wilson. I didn't see you there sneaking in there with the thumbs up. Welcome, hope you are well. And so the outline schedule for tonight, because I've been so pumped up watching that Hoka X2 world record attempt, which is going on right now as we speak. So in terms of my planning, it's not very good, but then it might be good. People, if you are watching that live at the same time, you've got your split screens, you can be listening to me and watching that display with Jim Walmsley. Looks like poetry in motion, absolutely fine, going for the 100-kilometer world record. And what's even more amazing is that Carla Molinaro, who's been on this channel, yes, Carla Molinaro, is going for the ladies' world record attempt, 100K as well, which is fantastic. I feel so privileged having spoke to an amazing athlete like Carla, and you can see that interview that I had on there on this channel. But there's about 6 things I'll be going through in a sort of formatish. So I'm going to go through a bit of the week's training that's been going on. So I've now kicked off 21-week training plan. I'll tell you why it's a 21-week training plan. I'll talk about my running shoes, and I've been so disorganized. I was going to be holding up the shoes that I was going to be talking about or running out of. App of the week, because last week we had a good old chat about various apps that are helping me, that maybe help you. And also I'll be talking about the mentor program that I'm doing. There's some limited spaces becoming available, and also I'll talk about interviews coming up next week, where I'll be speaking to some very inspirational people and talking about a little bit about 80-20 training. Whilst it's particularly about triathlon, it's about how 80-20 training can help us as runners. Can I have a breath now? All right, let me have a quick breath. I say, if you're on you, leave comments in there. So today's tea. Got to be tea, isn't it? Yeah. So if you want to follow me on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Poet with Pace. And I've been posting some very good poems, if I must say so myself, this week. In fact, shall I read you one of those poems now? Here we go. Let me go and find one of these poems that I wrote this week. And yes, here we go. Especially for the weekend. So it's a weekend now. What are you waiting for? Put on those shoes and get out the front door. There you go. That was mine on my quick little ditties to get people going. So the tea that I'm drinking, I'm currently experimenting with lemongrass as the tea flavor. And I've got these two types of brands. I'm not sponsored or paid by these people. So I've got Chiswick Tea Company, which is a loose leaf organic lemongrass. And then there's this company called LiFe, which again is lemongrass tea. I do love the flavor. I don't know what teas you guys drink. And tonight's cake is, I say cake, it's a bit of a tart. So here's the egg custard tart. As you can probably see, it's a 4-pack. And never mind your 6-packs, yeah? I've got a 4-pack of lemon tarts. I've already gone through 2. So that's been my cake for today, lemon tarts, hey? You guys got any particular favorite cakes? Leave it in the comments below. And yes, Rito, Carla did fade a bit. I think she was going at it quite fast. But hey, it's all about pace. I did notice, and I commented that the guys looked like they were jogging. And lots of people started commenting about jogging. And I think some people get a bit sensitive when they said they're referred to as joggers. You know, when I go out for an easy run, I'm jogging as well. But these guys look so comfortable. They were running sub 6-minute miles and they looked like they were jogging. They look so comfortable. But hey, you know, endurance running is a whole host of things. But quickly on, normally with this live stuff, you can have music. But one of the questions I had asked, and I'll talk about the training. So I'll go through from Sunday, because obviously it's Saturday, so tomorrow will be Sunday. I'd like to ask you guys, before I go into my stuff, what are you all doing this weekend with regards to running or whatever, or any other training? Leave in the comments what training you're currently doing or running. Are you aiming for any particular races? Obviously with COVID going on, lots of races are being cancelled. I did notice exactly, Carl, jogging, running, it's the same thing. I'm not sensitive. You know, whilst I have a shirt that says run, I might do one that says jog. I don't know, but yes, jog, run, it's the same to me. We're moving at a particular pace. I'd love to be able to jog at 6-minute miles for 100 kilometers, wouldn't you? But anyway, poetry in motion, Jim Walmsley and Carla. I mean, absolutely amazing athletes those guys are. But for the week's training, what are you guys up to? Wow, Colin, I'll come back to that. Yes, Colin started off, he ran a marathon today. Fantastic. And does that count as an official? So leave in the comments what you've been getting up to this weekend. And I'll talk to you about my week of training since last Saturday's live show. And I've got to give a big thank you and shout out to all of you guys. I finished last Saturday feeling so motivated and pumped up. And I've never felt that good in a long time. And I had so many wonderful comments, private messages and stuff come through on various social medias, emails. I had an amazing email from a guy I've never met in my life. And he watched this on replay. So if you watch this on replay, you can mail me as well or whatever. But really heartfelt, nice messages. It makes me feel really good and that I'm actually making a difference. I mean, I just do this as a bit of fun. It's a Saturday night here in the UK. We are proper locked down, but you've come to a COVID-free chat smile or whatever. And great to see the comments that are going on here as well. But it's challenging times for a lot of us. And I think this is a great way for us as runners, people, whatever, because I'm going to talk about running and life, that we can come together just for 1 hour on a Saturday night and have a bit of fun. And why not? Why not? And as I say, yeah, I'm not going to talk about the C word. C19, I'll call it. But I've had various questions I've been going through the week, and I'll start with Sunday, and then I'll go through the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and finishing what I've done today. So Sunday last week was an epic start of a challenge. For those of you who follow me on Instagram will know that I'm part of a What the Fartlek challenge. What the Fartlek, as in WTF. And last week, or no, it was this week. Yeah, this week the challenge was to do a run in fancy dress. So the only fancy dress I have is a Santa outfit. So I went out last Sunday morning. I thought I was going out nice and early where there'd be nobody around, because we're in lockdown as well. There's hardly anybody out there in the streets. Sunday morning, who's going to be out at 8 a.m? Nobody, yeah? Wrong. So I was out in my Santa gear filming it. If you haven't seen the video, I did film myself running in the Santa gear around the local area through subways. And I thought it was a pretty good epic type video. If you've not seen it, when this live one finishes, go back to the previous video, watch it. It was the Santa run, and that was to get some extra miles, extra points for the What the Fartlek team. I'm part of Team Rob. So big shout out for proud to be a Rob head. And the Santa run was fantastic, which raised one of the questions from one of my viewers that their family, their children were asking, because obviously I'm here talking with my glasses on. And the question was, how do I run without glasses? Good question, you know, because children just say how it is, don't they? So I wear glasses. Oh, it's not that I can't see you, but for me, I need to read what's going on there. So I need my glasses on to be able to read your comments, because I can happily talk here and whatever, but it's just a bit of a blur there. But for the running, for you children watching, I can run without my glasses because my visibility is pretty much okay. I just need it to sharpen the smaller text. And the comments that we've got here, unless someone can come up with an app for me that will show it in big bold and it appears and I don't need to wear my glasses, it's for that detail. So there's the answer to you, your guys, children who are watching. If you're watching, Gabs, Uma, Sia, that's why I don't wear glasses when I'm running. So I had a great time doing that. And yeah, that was fantastic. So that was the Sunday. Monday, I discovered, or I sent a link, and I thought I've been trying this breathing, because what I'll quickly do, I'll go back to what people have been commenting, because there's been so many comments here before I get to Monday. So I'm just going to go through. Colin, fantastic, ran a marathon today. He said it's not official, but it's still 26.2 miles. Yeah, as you say, it doesn't really matter. An absolute, the strength that you and Keith have is incredible, running amazing distances. And then we've got Rito, 12 weeks to go for my 7 Trails 100 miler in Virginia. Rito, 100 miles, sweet heavens above. That's a long way, long way. Good luck with that training. Yeah, 12 weeks to go. You've already heavily into your training. Rachel, 7 miles steady run today and 18. I presume that's 18 miles easy tomorrow. I read that as 18 meters. I know, bad boy. 18 meters easy tomorrow in the snow. Well, yeah, I'll talk more about the snow. Maybe it might be easier over in Redditch. As you say, the ditch run in Redditch, it might be, but here in the Licky Hills, poof, it's a whitewash, ice, snow, not very good. And David Wilson, not too much, feeling a bit under the weather. Yes, not the C word. Back on it on Monday, 60-mile week ahead, getting based for the Moray Coastal 50 miler. I presume Moray, that is up in Scotland. Is that right? And it sounds like it's somewhere up in the Moray Coastal 50 miler. So you guys are all epic runners. 50 miles, 100 miles, heavens above. I mean, just 26 miles is long enough for me. Makes me go a bit dizzy, but fantastic. Keeps, as Colin's already said, 100 miles, blimey. And hey, I run things. I can't remember your name. I run things. Tell me your name, and we can all say hello. So hello to I run things. Yes. What has your training been, or what have you got on Saturday, tomorrow? Yes. Sean. Yes, 100 miles. Is that one way or both? No, I think that's a good question, Sean. So is the family on as well? Leave a comment. Is the family on there? Paul Coughlin, 10.86421 of 2 minutes in ice and snow this morning. 6-minute mile, brutal session, 0 grip, 20 miles in the morning, will top 102-mile week. Wow, few that TMR did Cofton Park session this morning. Same session I did. That is incredible, Paul. I mean, Cofton Park's just around the corner from me, and no, just walking to Longbridge today was hard enough, but let alone running in the snow. Gosh, and there's more and more people again. Yes, the twins are on. Hello, Uma and Gabriel. Hello, 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 and hello, Sean. And maybe Isabel and Sia will join later. And Liz Green, hello, Liz. Yes, big smile. How are you keeping, Liz? Let us know what training you're doing. And 14 miles this morning and 7 tomorrow. Wow, you're all legends here doing amazing mileage. Great training. Nothing's holding you all back, which is fantastic. So keep those comments coming in. And Running Geek Girl, hello, welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the Santa run. I think you did leave a comment here. So I was spreading some smiles and love. So that was Sunday. Monday came on to, I've had a link from a friend of mine who's watching at the moment, possibly, about Wim Hof. and I've been meaning to do this for a long time. And I'll talk more about Vim, and you've probably seen it in terms of breathing, because for me as a runner, breathing is essential, and getting my breathing working correctly is the best way. And I've already mentioned about the talented lady I had on talking about breathing, world champion deep diver, and so breathing is essential for me. So I've been practicing the Wim Hof method, as they say, so as well as putting in some running in there. Tuesday, as I mentioned, was back on the bike, starting my 21-week Ironman training. That's right, folks. I'm training for it's a half Ironman, and I've got to be careful because I think some social media flatulencers say that they're doing an Ironman and it's actually a half. It's a bit like me saying I'm going to do a marathon, but it's actually 13 miles, so it's a half marathon. So it might have the word marathon. So the event I'm doing does have the word Ironman, and it is an Ironman brand, but I have to stress it's the half Ironman, which is still an epic distance. So it's about 1.8 kilometer swim. So it's over a mile swim. It's about a 60-mile bike ride. For those triathletes who are watching, maybe correct me on the distances. I'm giving ish. All I know is it finishes with a half marathon. Finishes with a half marathon. So I'm following this training book, and it's by Matt Fitzgerald and David Andrews. So I'm really into this. And the 80-20s, for those of you who talk about math, and I won't bore you about math, it's very similar to that. And it's all about, most of it is easy, but getting on the turbo, oh, my legs. I've not been on the bike for many weeks, and it felt really difficult. I'm thinking, I can barely pedal. How am I going to do the speeds I need to do in the 21 weeks time? But that's about trusting the process. It's all about being patient. I often talk about patience. Patience is very essential for endurance running, and very much so, as a lot of people have been saying. But yeah, Heather, the running geek girl, I'm glad you enjoyed the Santa stuff. And Liz Green, 9K tomorrow with visually impaired friend, and I'm doing 40K for the week. That is brilliant. Yes, fantastic to see you back. And evening, Ryan Wilmot, good evening to you. Feel free to join in the comments what training you are doing. So that was the bike turbo on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I done a particular challenge, which I saw Rachel, if you've seen her comment on here, the ditch runner. Rachel, if you want to leave a comment. And I don't know if Dan Runs is on now. He often comes in a bit later. But let me have a quick sip. So on Wednesday, there was bad planning. So Wednesday, I normally do a bit of a speedy session. So I thought, why not do this challenge? So Dan Runs, he's got a YouTube channel, and Rachel Ditch Runner also has a YouTube channel, as well as Running Geek Girl and a number of other people who've been commented on here. But Dan Run set this challenge: how far can you run in 20 minutes and 21 seconds? 2021, because that's a year. So I thought, Wednesday, I've got a speed session. Why don't I just run a 2021 as fast as I can, all out? Yeah. The thing is, it was really bad planning, because here in the UK, a storm arrived that day. So I thought, by finding a circular route, it was down at Longbridge. And for those who are not from the UK or don't know the geography of the UK, Longbridge is where you're all familiar with the original Mini car, the Legend that was made in the 60s. So it's just down the road from me. They don't make those Minis anymore. The new Minis are made down in Oxford. So where the motoring plant was, it's all knocked down. And I was running a circular route round there, and I thought, being circular, surely if the gale was blowing in one direction, it'll benefit me on a circular route. But it didn't seem to really work. It felt like the wind was hitting me in my face all the way around, and torrents of rain. And I thought, wow, I was getting memories of Boston again, nowhere near the strong winds or the torrents of rain, but it did feel a bit like that. And I ended up doing, I think, 5 laps. And obviously you're seeing the similar faces. And I think, Rachel, you had a similar thing where you've done a few laps. I saw the same people going around, and I think some people were standing and clapping as I was going around on each lap. And it sort of helped and motivated, but it felt like I had a headwind all the way around. And it was pretty brutal. But do you want to know how far I went? I know I was teasing you, Rachel. How far did I go? Let's get my training. So on Wednesday, I ran, as I say, for the 20 minutes and 21 seconds, I ran 5.25 kilometers. Well, there you go, 5.25 kilometers. And yeah, so I wasn't able to stop the watch straight away. It bleeped and I'd stopped running, and by the time I got to my watch, I think it clocked up another 2 seconds. But yeah, so that was so I'd welcome you to have a go at that challenge if you're up for it. 5 kilometers, 5.25 kilometers. So I was happy with that, to run a sub 25k. And good evening, Uggs. Welcome. And everyone, more people joining in. So that was my Wednesday run. Thursday was just a walk, long walk with a fellow YouTuber who lives local. Only working miles. It was over 3 point something miles, Rachel. I think put it in the calculator, 5.25 kilometers, and let me know how many miles that is. I always like working in kilometers. Obviously, having Italian backgrounds, in Europe we work in kilometers anyway. But for me, it feels like I've ran further. 5.25 kilometers sounds a lot further than 3 point something miles. But yeah, and yes, R.I.P. John. I don't know who John is, but yeah, R.I.P. For that. Yeah. So tell me, yeah, working miles. Let me know what the miles are. Thursday, nice long walk. As I say, fellow YouTuber, met up, went for a long walk, had a good chat, and then in the afternoon I got on the turbo again. So remember, I'm back into my triathlon training, and that was almost quite brutal. That 3.26 miles. I know you'd gone over 3 miles as well, didn't you, Rachel? I can't remember on that. I think you went over 3 miles, didn't you, on your 20 minutes and 21 seconds. Friday was something I was trying new, which I picked up. Uggs, who's on now. Again, Uggs has got a fellow YouTuber, but he runs phenomenally fast. I think he's targeting a 2 hour 35 marathon, 2 hour 40 marathon. Is it, Uggs? I can't remember now. And leave it in the comments what you're aiming for. And he was talking about how to increase your stride. And I've been trying different things that I've read on the Lost Art of Running book, which I've mentioned. And by the way, the books that I'm going through right now, in the comments below, there's links to those books if you want to purchase those from the old Amazonian. And as I grab it here, so in the book here, Lost Art of Running, I've been trying a number of techniques to improve my form, and one of them is about my stride length. And it seemed, yes, a 2:36 marathon, getting close to close to a 2:20. That is incredible. Elsie, hello, Elsie, welcome. Leave some comments below, but no worry, Uggs, happy to mention you. We'll have to get you on here for an interview. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people want to hear your story. And hello, Chris, who we've had on the channel as well. So what I done on Friday, it was a 15k easy run, but one of the things I was trying was bounding. And interestingly enough, Uggs mentioned about bounding in his video. So there's various drills. I'd highly recommend to go over to his channel, have a look at that video. And he talks about various drills that can help us in terms of form. But his was particular about the lengthening the stride, because the longer your stride, and if you're running at the same cadence, you're going to cover more of a distance. I know, science, isn't it? Go work it. We got to follow the science. So I was trying bounding. So every couple of kilometers, then having a rest, I'd be bounding away there and really getting into that. And thank you for the update, Rito. So Jim Warnsley's just past 95 kilometers, but still below world record pace. Oh no, I'm going to have to refund my get a refund on my shoes. But yes, keep the chat going there. So that was my 15k. That was yesterday, and then today, Saturday, I was ready to go out for an easy run, and unfortunately we had a heavy snowfall last night and it frozen over this morning, so I didn't want to risk going out on the ice. It's not so much the snow but the ice. So I went to my training book here and found a session on the turbo, 90 minutes, what seemed like absolute pushing it to the limit. So it's taking it up to a higher threshold. So it was like interval sessions running, but high threshold for only about 2.5 minutes, really hitting it hard. I think at zone 4 I was on, or was it zone 3? I can't remember. It was blooming high and I was sweating a lot. And there was about 6 sets of those. And then with a 3 minutes easy turning in between that, and then rest recovery. And then once I've done those 6 sets, then there's 20 minutes at zone 2 and then 5 minutes in zone 1. So that's about 90 minutes. Obviously there was a warm-up before that as well. But the beauty of being on an indoor turbo, whilst I'm looking at this monitor here, is I had a movie on and I was watching To Catch a Thief, which is a classic movie from the 60s. So when you're doing an hour and a half, 2 hours on a turbo indoors, or if you're doing a treadmill run, I can watch a movie. So I watched To Catch a Thief, which is fantastic. Cary Grant, classic movie. So thoroughly enjoyed that, and that sort of took my mind off the what I was putting my body through. But boy, I did feel that. And that was Saturday. But then this afternoon, as Rito's mentioned here, a number of you today, right now, Jim Walmsley is running that Hoka Carbon X2 challenge, where he's going for the world record. But at the moment now, it feels like, yes, it was painful. I run things. It did sound painful, but it wasn't pain. It was just sweaty discomfort. I think people refer to things as the pain cave, but it wasn't hurting me as such. So I could have gone ice skating, but yeah, I can do ice skating. Just as, shall I give you a bit of a random? Do you want to know a bit of random about myself, what I used to do in a previous life before I was a runner or anything like that? One of my hobbies, when I used to live in Swindon, there wasn't much going on there. No offense to people living in Swindon. This is back in the 80s. That I used to go to the ice rink and do figure skating. Yeah, there you go. But so yes, I used to do figure skating. I wasn't that good, but you know, a bit of ice dancing. I think they have dancing on ice now, the celebrities, which looks pretty dangerous for people who've never done it before. Hard work. Yes, so there you go, a bit of random. If you didn't watch me live tube, you wouldn't know that I used to do figure skating. But it's a long story where I did pick up some injuries from that and can't do it now. But anyway, yes, I do love ice skating, but I don't know whether my knees can cope with that, Elsie. But yeah, I'm sure down in Hackney, there must be an ice rink down there. Is it Lee Valley Ice Rink? But anyway, I digress. So right now, Hoka Carbon X project, it's over in the States. I'm sure it's in the States. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rito. It is in the States, and they're running around a racetrack, and it's amazing. It's obviously it's live, and they had lots of people coming on and off, and it's pretty fantastic. So what I've done is, because Rito asked me to buy the shoes and test them out, because it's been voted running world's best marathon shoes. So whilst I had a bad experience with Hoka, and I appreciate Colin says, oh, ditch them and go for some other brand, they've got that 30-day return policy. So I did order a pair because they've got some back in stock. So I'm going to give them a blast and see how I get on. So Rito reckons I can run a 2:45 marathon with those shoes, which would be pretty phenomenal. If I could run that at age 60, I don't think it would be a world record, but I'd certainly be giving it a run for the money. So Arizona, yes, it's in Arizona, Hoka Carbon X2. Thank you for that, Rito. So yeah, it's quite interesting. And one of the comments that I did have, and this is no offense to anyone out there who's watching or whatever, and but tell me what you think, guys. Is running boring? You know, the art of running, is it boring? And it's just a question I'm putting out there, because I did have a comment from a fellow YouTuber who was saying that running's boring, except when he watches my stuff, somehow I make it entertaining, which was quite flattering, really. I thought that's pretty amazing. So if you find me entertaining, thank you. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, tell all your friends, share it with you. So I'm just having a ball. I love to run. I don't find it boring at all. Sitting on a turbo today, hour and a half, watching a movie was bliss. You know, apart from when the Garmin was bleeping at me and telling me and showing if you ever done training to heart rates with these, by the way, leave some comments in there. If you ever done training to heart rate or pace, when you set the training on the watch, it bleeps at you if you're going too fast or too slow. So apart from my Garmin bleeping at me when I was going out of the zones, I was just turning my legs and just go, maybe not like that, because that's bad form, isn't it, on a bike? It's sort of solid, so you know, should be keeping that. But one of the other feedback that I found really amazing was that a lot of people are now going back to basics, watching my videos, going through some of my old videos. I've looked at some of my old ones. I mean, I was chuckling away when I watched my longest long run before I ran Brighton Marathon. Yes, I think you're right, Uggs. It's boring for non-runnings. I love it. I find it exciting, interesting, and watching that world record attempt. You know, it's 100 kilometers. The world record, I think, is 6 hours. So you're watching a live people running for 6 hours. I just found it fascinating. It was I just love it, and I do love to entertain. But that was my week's training, yes, and that took nearly half an hour. But the trainers, guys, you're all watching. This is to you watching. I need your feedback. So the running guru loves. I really do genuinely need your feedback. Now I know I've ordered the Hoka Carbon X shoes, but that would be race shoes type stuff. I need some steady, easy training shoes that can be good for speed sessions. So my Kinvara Tens, they've served me really well. The Kinvara 10, I say, I should have had them here holding, totally unprepped or whatever. But you've seen me, I've ran a couple of marathons in those, and I've been doing all my easy runs with those. When I've been out with Paul on some training runs, it's the Kinvara 10s. They're fantastic. They're a 4 mil drop. I love them. But I'm looking for a new pair of shoes I'm going to try. Whether it be Saucony, I'm looking at Brooks as well, and maybe Hoka's as trainings. But are there shoes that you watching would recommend to me? Leave it in the comments there, and we'll pick those up. Or if you're watching this on replay, leave it in the comments below. So I'd love your feedback, because I've got about, the Kinvaras have just gone over 750k, and I really have been feeling that there's not much sponge in them anymore. So, you know, I think they've passed their use by date. I'm quite shocked that I see some people out there throwing their shoes after about 100 miles, 150 miles, which I find awfully wasteful. But you know, each to their own, you know, if that's what you want to do. But I like to hammer mine for at least 500 miles, maybe even, you know, some of them I've got over 1,000 miles in. So if they work, keep it going. Good evening, Terry. Welcome to you. And North Devon. Wow. If this coming August, yes, I tell you, mate, if I'm down there, I'll be down there, and it'd be great. Yes, you're too fast. By the way, Terry, I loved your live session, the Sunday sermon last Sunday. So Terry is a fantastic pianist and plays boogie woogie, but does all types of piano playing as well. And wonderful daughter there, who you might have seen commenting as well, Elsie. So fantastic family there. So go and watch her channel if you like a bit of music. Speaking of music, right, because with professional, because I'm by no means professional, you sort of have intermissions, don't we? So here we go. So a bit of music. There you go, that interludes. So that's the trainers into app of the week. Yes, we're getting there. So you may recall last week I mentioned about Portal. There's an app called Portal, because I know with us as endurance runners, we need to be able to get good sleep and recover. And I think this week I had almost my world record sleep in one night. I think it was 10.5 hours. And maybe see you at Sunday service tomorrow night, 5 p.m. I get my drink ready. Well, I've got my drink here. Tea, essential. I thought I'd have a feature each week called App of the Week. So last week was Portal, which is help for relaxation, being in the moment. I've got my Be Still thing going on, where you can be still just for 5 minutes each day. Is pretty good. And by the way, Terry, do you like that there? Yeah. Like, subscribe, love, run. Yes, if I put the light on, unfortunately, when I put the light on, it just does that. So it looks blurred to me, but does it kill off all the text? Leave a comment here. Does the text disappear? Is it too bright? Or can you see it there? Anyway, I digress. So app of the week is a feature I'll be having each week. So last week was Portal. This week, I mentioned Wim Hof. Wim Hof, what a legend. He's called the Iceman. If you haven't come across him, just Google WIMHOF. So the app I've got, here it is, Wim Hof. Here is the Wim Hof method. So here he is in his ice bucket. Yeah, he is literally in a barrel there in ice. And out with Wim Hof, method. So it's all about the breathing. So if I hit start, exercise to improve your well-being. You can download it. It is free. There are various in-app purchases. Again, I'm not paid by Vim or anything like that. So, and there's various e-learning on there as well. And do this 3-minute exercise. It will blow your mind. I've not tried that yet, but and you can. I haven't even logged in, registered, but it's a fantastic little app. Help you with your breathing. It's got loads of stuff on YouTube, and you can follow his breathing techniques in there. All I can say is the friend who recommended it to me, I'll leave the light off. Thank you for that recommendation. Yeah, he's sort of blowing it out, wasn't it? Yeah. So maybe I need to turn it at an angle or whatever that it doesn't, the light bulb doesn't burn it. But very much so with Wim Hof. If you want to help with your breathing, as your endurance and so on, because the breathing. Duncan Edward, I missed you, mate. You're on there. Hello. There was lots of things flicked in there, so great to see you here, Duncan. And but breathing, I'd love to get to the point where, you know, when you look at people like Jim Walmsley, Eliud Kipchoge, Carla Molinaro, and all these great athletes, when you see them running, you don't see them panting, or it's become second nature, effortless. A bit like when we learnt to drive. When I was a beginner, I had to look down at the gear stick where first gear was, second gear. Now, having driven for many years, do we look down at the gear stick? And it's the same with breathing. We need to make it second nature to us, and it's essential to the breathing. I might do some videos on the breathing, or maybe Uggs, you can do one. You can do a nice one with us, or we'll collaborate on that maybe. But breathing is essential. So Wim Hof, that's my app of the week, and would definitely recommend that. So this is where I do the segue, and which brings me on to point 4. Whilst I have my little, I should have sit while the music was playing. All good practice. I mentioned I do a lot of mentoring, so I've been mentoring as a professional now for over 30 years. Ooh, showing me age. So I've got some limited places coming up. If you are looking for a mentor with your running, whether you have a coach or not, is I can work with you on a professional basis, and we have regular chats each week. And to ensure, you know, basically for me, I find it's easier to learn from professionals, for those who've done it before, rather than me wasting my time trying to make mistakes all the time, work my way through. So having a mentor is a great way, and I've got a mentor as well. It's a great way of helping you take things to another level, and maybe someone just to bounce ideas off, and so on and so forth. So I've got some limited places coming up in the next few weeks. So if you are interested, you can email me at poetwithpace@gmail.com. So it's not the @ or you can find me on the socials, send me a private message. But basically, it's poetwithpace@gmail.com. That's my quick little plug. And yes, so that is the, we're flying here on time, aren't we? So here we go again. I don't know why does the iPhone keep muting? Coming on to, if I do this right, I can time this right, can't I? Ooh, yes, Saturday. So number 5. This week, hopefully, I mean, I do love interviewing people of all levels, of all backgrounds. And you may recall I did, as I mentioned, you know, name dropping, I did have Carla Molinaro on this channel only a few weeks ago, and talking about, I say a few weeks ago, it seems like it was a few weeks ago, but I think it was a few months ago. And there she is on the world stage, going for world records again, having completed a world record. I have got an interview coming up, hopefully, if all the tech works and our availabilities match. There'll be an interview with a fantastic person where I'll be sharing that with you. And I know a lot of you guys, I know that Rito, Colin, have been commenting on a lot of the videos, and Paul as well. I mean, the other week, I, excuse me, lost my tea. That I did have Carl Wellborn on, who's an amazing professional coach as well as an amazing marathon runner on, and we had a good chat. Very insightful, amazing stuff to share that people have, and I just love talking to people. So if you just want to chat with me, and you know, drop me a message or wherever, and we can have a Zoom just to chat over a cuppa. No agenda, no nothing, just a nice chat. But there are some people who want to come on as interviews. So again, there's slots becoming available if you do want to come on and be an interviewee for me, or if you want me to be an interviewee on your channel, let me know. But that would be fantastic. So that's what's coming up next week. So we're coming to point number, where we go again. Oh, yes. So I mentioned, where have we gone? 80-20 training, 80-20 training. Is anyone who's still left on do any particular type of training, or do you just go out and run? And yes, absolutely. Yeah, go for it, Ryan. Slide in there with the DMs. So for me, there's, how can I put this? There's a lot that goes on. You see a lot of information out there on the socials, and there's some, and I'm sure people are well-meaning when they put the information out there. And there's some really good stuff out there as well for some really top professionals sharing either on a professional basis or on a free basis, whatever. There's so much good info going out there that sometimes it gets a bit crossed hairs. But when I've been looking back at some of my old training runs, so if you go back all the way to the beginning, I think the very first video I published on YouTube, whilst it wasn't the first video I filmed, because I felt so embarrassed with the first one, I didn't publish it till a year later. That's how bad I felt it was. But I did publish it, and I look at it, and it was actually pretty good. But sometimes we can be a bit harsh on ourselves. And with the with that video, you look at the very first one. I was in Stockholm, and it was snowing. Yeah, Stockholm, Sweden, February. Yeah, it was around. Yeah, so it's now January. So coming up to that month, that would have been 5 years ago. In Stockholm. That was my first video, and I look at how I've done that training run, and then I looked in particular at the long training run, which was started from Ledbury in Herefordshire, and I ran around the whole of the Malvern Hills. So I went off course, yeah, whole of the Malvern Hills, and I look back on these videos, and they're great. And I know that Colin mentions a lot with these Garmins. Whilst I don't look at the Garmin now, it's great of recording, and I use them as memory joggers now when I go through my history. I look at that run around Ledbury, and it was on the plan. It should have been a 3-hour easy run. Now, for me, what I thought was easy, everyone, and you might relate to this, leave in the comments there if you relate to this as a novice runner. Every one of my runs, I only had 3 runs a week: Tuesday, Thursday, and either Saturday or Sunday, depending on what the family schedule was at the weekend. So, but every run I'd done, whether it was a short run on the Tuesday or Thursday or the long run on the weekend, I ran at the same pace. Yeah. And I always used to look at my watch, always looked at my watch. Oh my word. I'll come back to that, Rito. So always looking at my watch and going, as it bleeps, I go, oh, wow, I'm running at this pace. I feel great. When I'd done that longest long run in Ledbury, I ran a massive 35 kilometers, which was, I was running to time, not distance, but the Garmin showed 35 kilometers in 3 hours and 10 minutes and a pace that was unreal. But I then found that pace, when I actually came to run the marathon, that was my marathon pace. Yeah. In fact, it was a little bit slower than that. So I was literally racing around on a long run. So I was not learning. It took me a couple of years to work out, even though I had a professional coach at the time, I wasn't learning what an easy run was. So I'd be told easy, and but I was always going at the wrong pace or whatever. But I eventually worked it out, and that's why with 80-20, 80%, and as you said there, Ryan, is a lot of easy pace running. Concentrate a lot on coach, since he sets training plans aiming for 2:55 or less. Hopefully get out before it snows in London. Yes, we've already had our snow here, but the easy runs is essential for endurance running. That's why when you look at the likes of Jim Walmsley, when they're running their 100 kilometers, it looks really comfortable and easy for them, and it needs to be. Otherwise, as Rito's saying there in the comments, unfortunately, Jim Walmsley missed the world record by 5 seconds. 100 kilometers, you missed the world record by 5 seconds. And as you just said there, Rito, it's heartbreaking, that is, if you've done all that and you miss by 5 seconds. So in the final 5K, faded from an 18-minute 40. Wouldn't that be phenomenal for you to be able to run a 5K in 18 minutes 40? Whilst I can run a 5K quicker than that, that's just the 5K. After that, I can't repeat it again. His final 5K was 19 minutes 30. And yes, so as you've said, Colin, yeah, we all run at the same pace, don't we? So it's a case of learning. Either we learn from our mistakes, or we can learn from professionals and help us to reduce the risk and stop making those mistakes. So I was just running at the same pace. And when I went into that marathon, I thought I could run a particular pace. And I had seen my Brighton marathon race. That was my first marathon. I was doing okay till about mile 12. And then it all went because I was going too fast. Now, it didn't sound too fast when this watch was bleeping at me. If you go back and look at Brighton Marathon, my first marathon, if you go to my channel and just Google my first marathon or Brighton Marathon, I think 2 will come up for Brighton, is I was going way too quick. And I thought I was on pace and I felt good, I felt comfortable, but not knowing I was going just that bit too quick. And the last sort of 10 kilometers, I completely nosedived and was just hanging on at the end, literally just hanging on. Whereas now, having learned pacing strategy and training, slowly building up my mitochondria and all that strength and endurance in my body, I'm able to sustain it for a much longer period. So that's how it goes. But yeah, it's tough, isn't it? And that's why with 80-20 for my triathlon training, that's what I'm adopting to do on there, and that's what we're looking to do. So anyway, keep the comments going, guys. So yes. Ooh, is there anyone on who uses Brooks? Because I just wanted to sum up, because I'm really keen on what shoe to get. And for me, I like to follow my bliss. Running is quite blissful for me. I do enjoy it. Yes, complete, not compete was the only aim. I still go to complete, but I'd like to complete at a good thing. So you run Brooks, Colin. So Colin and anyone else who's tried Brooks. So I started back in the beginning. I was with Brooks Ghost 8. If you've seen one of my live chats where I was going through all the boxes and showing you all the shoes, I've kept all the shoes. Well, not all of them, but most of them that I've ran in. And my very first marathon shoes was the Brooks Ghost 8. And loved them, but then switched to Saucony. And then I've been going through various different brands. But, yeah, is one I've heard is about the Brooks Hyperion Tempo and the Ricochet 3. And, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Has anyone tried those? Or what Brooks shoes do you use? Or do you use other brands? What easy run shoes do you use? You know, are they Hokas? Are they Nikes? Leave in the comments there. As I said, I'm looking to replace me Saucony Kinvaras because they've literally worn out as they gone past the 500 miles. But I did do a bit of Googling on Hyperion and found out that it's the Titan god of heavenly light. Yes, so maybe I can feel like a Titan god. I mean, obviously these brands choose these names for the shoes for a reason. So there's a reason. And I know that they've got the Hyperion Elite. I'm not looking at those just yet because there's no races that are coming up for me that I'd want to do those. And yes, they do have a high drop rate. It depends what we're used to, because I remember trying some Mizuno for one race, and they really hurt me. I think they had a 12 mil drop, and I just didn't get on at all with those. So maybe I'm a more lower. I did use the Ultra, which was 0 drop, but then that was maybe a bit too far the other way for me. They were great. I completed New York Marathon, yes, in the Ultra. And the Hoka Clifton Edge is a fine shoe. Yes, the lace is coming loose. I had the same issue. I know that if Sean's still on, he tried the Cliftons, but they didn't work. And now I think he's got some Sauconys on. But what shoes I know that a lot of it, because I was used to the Saucony Ride and Glide, which are about 8mm drops, and I tend to find 8mm drops between 4mm and 8mm drop work for me best, and I think that's where Made Hoka work really well. It sits right in the middle. I think it's about 5 or 6mm drop, and they're really good. And Rachel, you've got some new trainers today. New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel. Yes, I've seen some of those, half price and free delivery. I was tempted. I did have, if you may recall, previously I had the New Balance. I found them a bit stiff on the sole for me, so I don't know how the Fuel Cell Rebel are like. I know that say they are a bargain at the moment. You're a Ghost man as well, Colin. Excellent Ghost 12. And you got a couple of pairs waiting to be used. So block purchase. Hoka, yes, Sean, you couldn't get on with the Hokas, and the arch support was too painful. So again, we all have different feet. So you can watch as many YouTube videos of people talking about shoes as much as you want. Try them on. Just try them on for yourself, because all of our feet are different. And for me, certain brands just don't work for me at all in terms of how they hold the foot, because my foot's a shape, like my hand. Sorry if I'm stating the Ministry of the Bleeding Obvious, the MOBO Awards. This is my hands. Yeah, see my hands? Now, if you were to hold up your hands, they're going to be different to my hands. It's the same with feet. All of our feet are different. So try them on. And most brands, and I can't list them all off the top of my head, but I know that Nike, Hoka, Brooks, list any other brands. I don't think New Balance do the, if you've been out running with them, do the return, do they, Rachel? I'm not sure about that. Otherwise, I would have ordered those. But you can order many brands. You can order online, try them out, go running outside as much as you want for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever theirs is. And you can send them back if they don't work. Whereas some brands, they don't do that. So I'm a bit iffy whether to try that. So I'd like your feedback of what shoes. So yeah, the Ride 13 were a bit narrow. Again, you see some of the Saucony shoes were narrow. I know I used to use the Freedom ISO, and here's a bit of a randomness for you. So I had the Freedom ISO, which I ran Chicago Marathon, and they were fantastic, pretty minimal, 4mm drop, but I loved them and they worked fantastic for me. And I loved them so much, I'd add some other Freedom ISO versions. So that was ISO 1. By the way, Rachel, I know they do free returns, but can you wear them outside in the public? Go running in them? Otherwise, yeah, I'll come back to the endorphin shift. So try the shoes on, see what works for you. And some of them are narrow, but the Freedom ISO, when I went to the Freedom ISO 2, I ordered the same size 10. I found that they were too big, so I went down half a size. So how random is that Saucony, so it was the second version, and they made them bigger and wider to the first version. So sometimes they make them, it becomes more narrow, some of them they make them wider. It's a bit random. So I got on really well with my Saucony Ride. And I see that Sean mentioned you've got the endorphin shift. And what have you done there? You keep the you've kept them because of the color. Excellent. I like it. See, obviously, if you watch Dr. Sammy Chu, my running shoe review, he's a doctor, he's a professional shoe reviewer. Yeah. Okay, are you with me? He says color is very important, very important. Yeah, what happens to all those return shoes? I don't know, Colin. I think they all just get recycled or thrown into shoe heaven. Yes, I'll check that, Rachel. I'll check their website, whether they do that. And I don't know how, Rito, how did that comment go through the filter? Normally, Google filters comments like that. Maybe you didn't say the C19 word, but yeah, I get the joke. That's very good. Oh man, you guys crack me up. As I say, I so love these live shows. I'll be back again next Saturday, but I've got a few things before I do wrap up. And I just wanted to say, last week I mentioned about these gels. As I say, I'm not paid by Huma. I was trying something new, but when I go on my easy runs, I never need a gel or whatever. I brought a couple of gels with me when I was doing the long run last week with Paul, but I felt fine. I didn't go hungry or anything, didn't get to eat them. But yesterday on the easy run, I felt a bit hungry, so I popped one of these and ate it. As you can see, it's all gone. So the top's gone off. Now this one is a chocolate flavor, Chia Energy Gel. And I know a lot of people commented last week that various people use this. So it's gluten-free and vegan-friendly. I didn't purchase it for that reason. I just wanted to try something new. And I thought these look good. And do you know what? This one tasted amazing. And the only issue I had is they were really thick. So when I'm running at a particular pace, I tend to like to just sip on it. And so the other brand that I was using, it was very liquefied, and you could sort of just hold and go and then sip and then run and then sip. This one you had to force up to get in because it was quite gooey. Tasted delicious. I ended up having to stop so I could squeeze it all and get it into my mouth. I know, dilemma, issues. So I'm in my brain thinking, if I'm trying to get my record on a marathon, I don't want to lose like 30 seconds slowly eating this. And as you may know, one of my top tips when you're taking these gels or any form of fuel and so on and so forth is not to glug it all down in one go. If you were to pop this and go all in one go, it might cause a bit of problems down there. Yeah. So all I can say is thumbs up on taste, flavor. The only issue I had is that I feel you would definitely need to drink water to wash this down. I would feel that way. So, you know, depending on what training you're doing, you'd need water with your backpack or bottle or whatever. I never run carrying a bottle because I find it's a bit lopsided or whatever. So if I'm running with hydration, it'll be a backpack hydration pack. So you'll need water with you to wash these down. But I didn't have water with me. Because I was just doing an easy pace, so it felt good for me. But so that was my humor. And then also with these raw energy protein bars, I love them. I can chew on these till the cows come home, full of protein, which is just what I need. And they were fantastic. So yeah, definitely one for that. So all I can say is thank you so much for everybody tuning in, watching. I've absolutely loved it. If you've come in at the end, by all means, go through and watch it all on replay. There's been some amazing interaction. I love that you guys take the time to come here. It's now been 2 Saturdays in a row. I'll be back again next Saturday, so put it in your diary. Saturday live, 7:30. I know that the What the Fartlek guys, I've overrun a bit. They've already started their quiz over on the Instagram, so I might have to go and join them shortly. But I love the fact that you are here. I'm glad you enjoyed this, David. Leave some comments in there. Thumbs up for those who haven't given it a thumbs up yet. But please do share amongst your social platforms. Spread the word of the Poet with Pace, the running guru, whatever, because I love chatting to you guys. And please do reach out if you just want to have a chat or a Zoom, whether it be one-to-one or as a group. I'm trying to work out the tech. I know that a number of you mailed me about doing a little, 2 or 3 people having a bit of a chat. But please do mail me or tweet me or Instagram me, DM me. But if you go to poetwithpace@gmail.com, email me, and we'll set up a bit of a chat or whatever and work as a group, because I think working as a group helps us through these times. And I find it challenging at times, getting up. I think that's why maybe I'm getting a bit of a record of sleeping. I say the other day, 10.5 hours sleep. And, it's cold mornings, not feeling motivated to get up. And it can be a bit tough at times. And sometimes it really does help just having a quick chat with someone, or for you guys coming in, joining in the banter. And I think the more that we have on here, having a good old chat and banter, the better it is for everybody. We all feel good. And I just want to spread a bit more bliss, follow your bliss, spread a bit of love and positivity around, because I think with what's going on in the world, we need to shine our lights, as we say. So I've got a lot of light to shine out to you guys and girls. And I've so enjoyed sharing it with you. And with comments like what you've just said, David, Colin, Sean, enjoy your weekend, folks. It's only Saturday night. Yeah, it's Saturday night. I don't know where I'm going to get a copyright strike on this, but anyway, I do love the song, and I thank you for the recommendation, Colin, because how could I not remember The Enemy? Because where I live here in Middle Earth, The Enemy, my understanding, is from Coventry. So a local band. There you go. So it's been a great Saturday night with you all. Enjoy your runs tomorrow, Sunday. I'm going to see, hopefully the snow will melt. If it doesn't, I'll just get on the turbo. We need to keep it open, whatever. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you guys next Saturday night, 7:30. Thank you all so much for your time. Coming here, sharing, connecting. It's been fantastic. I love you all. Thank you again. Peace upon you all. And whatever you do now for Saturday night, enjoy it. But whatever you do, wherever you are, whatever you do, keep, what's it say here? Running. Oh, yes, yes. Catch you all Saturday. Yes, yes. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rito, Sean, Colin, David, all of you who've been commenting. Send me your emails, comments, whatever. Fantastic. Take care, everybody. I love you all. I've just made it over the 1 hour. So there you go, you see. So I'm getting a bit better at this, and maybe the BBC or whoever might employ me as some kind of professional. And as Colin's just said, stay safe, everybody. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. It's fantastic. Love you all. Gotta go. Bye, Z. Bye. High five.